Alright, so today I have a challenge for all of you. I want to see if we can keep our lawns as green as possible for as long as possible. So that's my Keep Your Lawn Green challenge. So I hope you all accept it and join the Keep Your Lawn Green challenge. So stick around and I'll show you one of the things you can do to keep it green as long as possible. Hey there everyone, my name is Sam and I'm the Average Joe Lawn Nut. Alright, so for those of you who have been following the channel, you know that I am from Sweden. I live in Stockholm and our lawn seasons are usually pretty short. This picture represents how a typical Swedish lawn season looks. Alright, maybe it's not a typical lawn season, but it sure as hell feels like this. It feels like it's always either fall, spring or winter here. So I kind of want to extend the lawn season a bit. I'm not ready for it to be over yet. I'm having too much fun. Maybe you guys are getting tired of being out in the lawn and doing stuff, but I'm not. I want to extend the season as far as I can. I'm having way too much fun doing stuff in the lawn, especially since we're having kind of a mild fall so far. That usually means that we will be paying for it this winter. It's just gonna be worse. That's always the case. If you have a cold, hard fall, then you know you might get lucky with winter. It might be kind of mild, maybe not that much snow. So as you can see, it's pretty sunny out and we're getting good weather. It's in the mid-upper 40s right now. So I'm kind of worried that payback is coming this winter. But as I said, I'm not ready for the lawn care season to be quite over yet. So today I'm actually going to apply iron to the lawn to keep it green longer. And iron will also help your lawn this winter because it gives it a better resistance against the cold and snow mold and all that stuff. And it also does help against moss. So all in all, there's no downsides here. But there are some preconditions you need before applying iron. You need sunlight. Otherwise you don't have photosynthesis working for you. And you need the soil temperatures to be high enough so they can actually absorb the iron and turn it into chlorophyll. So photosynthesis and chlorophyll, that's the process that makes the lawn green from iron. So you need those two things to be able to do this. And I'm not going to get too technical about that stuff. I'm going to link a video to Brian Mounts, the turf mechanic. He explains that way better than me. So if you're interested in knowing more about how these things work, how iron works in the lawn, how photosynthesis works, and how all that plays together, then go check out his video. He is awesome when it comes to that stuff. He gives good explanations. He's so knowledgeable. So I would advise, if you want to know more, just go up and check out his channel. All right, so as I said, we're having kind of mild weather right now. The sun is shining, so I'm gonna give it a go. I want to keep the lawn this green or even greener until Christmas at least. And I hope everyone joins me in this Keep Your Lawn Green challenge. It will be fun to see how many of us actually join and how long you can actually keep your lawn green. I'm aiming for Christmas, or at least until the snow comes. We'll see if I can keep it green that long. I mean, right now the lawn is looking good. It has a good color already, but as I said, applying iron to this will actually make it greener if you have enough sunlight and you have the right soil temperatures, which I think I do. I actually just dropped the thermometer in the lawn just to see how the soil temperature is. I'll show you guys in a minute. So I think at the moment we have about 9 hours of sunlight per day. You need kind of 9-10 hours to be able to apply iron to your lawn and for the iron to actually be used and for the lawn to actually green up. So I think I'm actually right on the edge. I mean, I can't predict the weather. If it keeps going like this, then it will be fine. But you never know, tomorrow the temperatures might drop. Since we are getting close to that period of time in Sweden where it kind of feels like you're stuck in a freezer with a broken lamp. It's dark and cold for a long time. All right, I think the thermometer is done. Let's just have a look and see how warm the soil is. All right, so it's just about almost 10 degrees Celsius, and now you can see it in Fahrenheit, so it's almost 50 degrees. I mean, this isn't great, but I think it's good enough to actually apply some iron. I think the ground will still absorb it and use it, so we'll give it a go. But before we do that, I need to remove all these leaves. I have a lot of leaves right here and in the front that I need to remove, otherwise the iron won't reach the actual grass. So let me just remove it and then we'll get the backpack sprayer out. And of course I'm gonna use my new Gardena leaf and grass collector for this. I'm not touching a rake. The rake is standing here, all alone, no friends, nothing to do, all alone. What do you guys think? Should I actually use the rake just to make him feel better, make him feel useful? Nah, I'm gonna go with this thing. This thing was awesome. So I actually just did a review of this recently. I'll put a link to that if you want to watch that. I think this thing is awesome so far. So I'm gonna use this thing again. Let's take off the leaves and then move on. All right, I'm done with the leaves. As you can see, still a lot of leaves coming down, a lot of pine needles, had some grass clippings left, but it's all out of the lawn now. So now we can go ahead and spray this. Well, not this, we're gonna spray this. So let's get the backpack sprayer out. All right, so I have my backpack sprayer, getting ready to mix up the iron with water. And I just fill this up halfway with warm water because that will make the iron dissolve better. And I mean, depending on what iron you use, the measurements are going to differ. So for this one, which I use, which is called fertilizer, I think most people in Sweden use this. So this one requires pretty much 6 ounces per 2.5 gallons pretty much. And how much iron you need to use with water or for the lawn you have, I mean, just check the instructions how much you need. There will always be a kind of lower end to it and a higher end to it. So I'm just gonna go with the lower rate. So I'm just using this to green up the lawn a bit and help the grass through the winter, which iron actually helps with. So I'm not gonna go crazy with iron, but I mean, whatever iron you use, check the instructions and follow that. But for this one, which is in powder form, as I said, warm water will actually make it dissolve easier. So I'm gonna use half of the water I need to just dissolve it. It's warm water. And then I'm gonna fill up with the rest of what I need after I'm done. And then you can kind of mix that up, shaking things around. And by the way, remember, use a cover or something if you're doing this out on the deck, because iron will stain everything it comes in contact with. Other than grass, it makes it green. So concrete, patios, furnitures, your clothes, it will stain everything. So be careful. That's why I'm using this plastic underneath. So now just add the rest of the water. All right, so now just close that up and just mix it all together. And now it's time to start spraying and going around looking like a Ghostbuster for a while. I really hope the neighbors aren't out. They always look at me funny when I do this, but I mean, that's how it goes. All right, backpack sprayer on, time to spray the lawn. And as I said, be careful where you spray. You don't want to spray anything but the grass, it will stain. And also be careful where you step, because if you step just where you sprayed, it will get stuck on your shoes. And if you put your shoes on the patio or on the concrete, it will stain it. So be careful where you step, maybe switch out shoes afterwards. All right, enough talking, let's spray some iron. All right, done with the spraying. I used everything in the backpack sprayer. I mean, after a couple of times when you've done this, you kind of get a feeling for how much you actually need to use. So I've been doing this a couple of times, so I kind of got the feeling for how much I need to fill up the backpack sprayer to cover the entire lawn, how much product I need to use. So I don't always go by what the actual instruction says. If you've never done this, if you haven't done this a lot, then I would highly advise you to go by the instructions on the bag. But once you've done it a couple of times, you kind of get the feel for it, then you don't need to pay that much attention to it. You should still follow the instructions. I don't go above the maximum amount allowed or recommended, and usually I don't go under what is recommended either. So you kind of just have to find your own level. That's why I'm not saying how much you should put out, because it will all depend on what product you use, how big your lawn is. So it can be different for everyone. So it doesn't matter if I sit here and say you need this amount and that amount. So just follow the instructions on whatever product you use. I can put a link in the description for what I use, and you can just follow that. I think it's a good product. I mean, I bought that thing 2 years ago and it's still half full, so you don't use a lot of it, but go with whatever it says on your bag. All right, we're done with the spraying. Hopefully this will green up over the next few days, and I hope I get more sunlight than just today, but we'll see. As I said, this is a Keep Your Lawn Green challenge. I might fail miserably. I hope you guys don't fail, But it would be fun if you would take up the challenge and try to keep your lawn as green as long as possible, and then reach out to me on Instagram or put in the description. Just tell me how you did, and then we can have a competition. I usually never win at competitions, but hopefully this is my year. So let's wait a few days. Let's see if the weather keeps being as nice as it has been, and if we can get this a bit greener. So I'll see you in a few days. All right, so it's 3 days later, and it's kind of hard to see since I don't have a comparison picture, but I think the lawn is greener, dark green. It feels like it. It feels like it's a lot more dark green than it was 3 days ago. Let me show you guys. So this is how the lawn is looking. I'm not sure if the camera is picking it up. I'll put a comparison picture for you guys so you can compare yourselves, but I feel it looks kind of more dark green than it did 3 days ago. And this is the side strip. I mean, it's still looking awesome. And if the weather holds up, this will get more and more dark green over the next coming days. So I think we actually succeeded with the iron application. And I mean, if you live in an area like Stockholm in the same level as me, then you can keep doing this. As long as you have temperatures around 45-50 degrees or 7 to 9 degrees Celsius, you can keep spoon feeding it fertilizer until pretty much the temperature drops. And if the temperature where you live never drops below that, you can keep spoon feeding it all winter. If you have a fertilizer like my fall fertilizer with 6% iron in it and pretty much no nitrogen, so this one contains about 4%, that's it, nothing more, you can just take the recommended amount, cut it in half, and keep spoon feeding it once a month if your temperatures keep above 45-50, so about 7 to 9 degrees Celsius, then you'll have an awesome lawn all winter. So this is an ideal fertilizer if you live in Sweden. I don't think they sell this outside of Sweden, but I'll put links in the description for other fertilizers you can use to kind of spoon feed your lawn during winter. As I said, I wouldn't take fertilizers with a lot of nitrogen in them. So I think there's a lot of options for UK and US and down in Europe. So I'll put links in the description and suggest some fertilizers which I would think is suitable for something like this. But if you live in Sweden and you want to spoon feed and kind of keep your lawn alive, I would say this one is perfect since it's low nitrogen and has iron in it. So for my parents, for example, they live in Leksand in Sweden, so it's a bit further up north. So for them, the lawn season is pretty much over. I wouldn't suggest them doing this or anyone else above Stockholm. I would say your lawn season is pretty much over, unfortunately. But if you live further south and you have still good temperatures, and I mean, we have rain right now, but rain can actually help keep the soil temperature up. So as long as your soil temperature stays stable, then you can keep spoon feeding your lawn. If you don't have iron in your fertilizer, I would suggest add it yourself. Either spray it on like I did, or get some iron and add to your fertilizer when you spray it out with a handheld sprayer or something else. Then your lawn would keep looking awesome all winter long, and I would be jealous as hell. I mean, I can only keep this up as long as the weather allows me. For now, it seems to be working. I mean, the lawn is looking awesome, even though we're almost into mid-November and it's getting colder every day, but still the lawn is looking awesome. So I think as long as no snow comes, I can keep this up. So as I said, if you have the temperatures, keep spoon feeding it. I mean, as long as it's above 45-50 and you have some sunlight left. I mean, soon, even if I have the temperatures, I won't have the sunlight left to do this. But if you're further south, you would still have it, so you could keep photosynthesis going. For me, even if I have 45-50 degrees and only 5 hours of sunlight, I can't do this. I won't have photosynthesis working, I won't have chlorophyll working for me, so it's impossible. But if you live further south and you have more sunlight per day than I do, then you can easily keep this going. So I hope you'll join me in trying to keep your lawns alive for as long as possible. And as I said, hit me up on Instagram. I would love to see how you're doing and see how your lawns are looking, especially when mine kind of goes into dormancy. It will at some point. Then I can live vicariously through you guys. So that's how the lawn is looking at the moment. And if you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't, so you don't miss the updates. I will keep you updated how the lawn turns out over the next few days. I will either post it on Instagram or in the community tab just to give you guys an update. And as long as the lawn care season is alive, I will keep you updated with how this is going. And as I said, if the temperatures hold as they are right now, I will keep spoon feeding my lawn with fertilizer. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.